Countdown to midterms. Wisconsin's governor's race takes center stage on Tuesday. Democratic Socialist Francesca Hong is, as we just discussed, the favorite among Democrats for the nomination. Now, she's drawing national attention, in part for an old social media post about Thanksgiving. Here's what it said. Cancel Thanksgiving. Should have done this in 1621. If it takes a worldwide pandemic for us to realize we should stop celebrating colonialism and the original super spreader event that killed indigenous folks and women, so be it. And here's some of Hong's more recent comments on the American holiday. Listen to this.
My favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. Because I
There
love
you have it.
Thanksgiving. Yep. I don't want to cancel it. I actually love it.
Thanksgiving is also a time that's incredibly painful for many people in our communities.
Tweet one thing, say another. Politics Today, here to discuss. Former Pennsylvania United States Senator and senior advisor for Convention of States, Rick Santorum. Also with us, former Principal Deputy White House Press Secretary Hogan Gidley. Welcome, gentlemen. Good to see you. Senator, I want to start with you. Even Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders seems a little leery about endorsing Hong for governor. Maybe it's comments like these that shed a little light as to why. Watch this.
And I'd say it's about time we 86 Trump.
ICE is a rogue agency and an enforcer of fascism, and I believe that it is an agency that indeed needs to be abolished.
My proximity to whiteness continues, right? My son is biracial. He's half white and half Korean.
So, Senator, when you're too radical for Bernie Sanders, I mean, what is happening to the Democratic Party?
I didn't hear anything from her that I haven't heard from other Sanders endorsed people. So I have no idea why Bernie's the drawing line. Maybe Bernie has has come to his senses that this really radical stuff is not going to sell, and it's sort of getting too fast for Bernie. The bottom line is she's going to win this primary. Why? Because first off, Wisconsin has long history of the Democrats in Wisconsin being progressives or radicals. I mean, you go back to the La Follette era, and over 100 years ago in Wisconsin. So this is who Madison, University of Wisconsin. All of this makes sense that someone like this can win a primary. The question is, again, in a state that's a blue state, can someone like that win a general election? And I think the answer to that is probably no. That's why I think Sanders is getting pressure to back away.
That's a good point. Hogan, so Michigan's Democrat primary voters chose Abdul El-Sayed as their nominee. Now, it was way closer than certainly these polls indicate what's happening in Wisconsin. But, here's a guy who loves socialized medicine, wants to abolish ICE. He's also got some strong opinions on AIPAC, the American Israeli Public Affairs Committee. Check out this from a little earlier today.
I'm really honored for what I learned and got to share with my Jewish sisters and brothers. But they are not the same as AIPAC in Israel. AIPAC is an organization that spent, $30 million to beat me so that they could have one more vote in the U.S. Senate to guarantee that our taxpayer dollars would be sent abroad to subsidize a foreign government's military to do the worst things: genocide, apartheid, take us into wars we have no business fighting.
So, Hogan, it sounds like he's trying to sort of parse it a little bit here and make it like it's not anti-Semitic, it's political. But he's going to be going up against former Republican Congressman Mike Rogers in the Senate race. What advice do you have for Mike Rogers in this race?
Well, these people are crazy, no question about it. Rick is absolutely correct. The left is so radical, so dangerous and deadly with their policies because communism, socialism, Marxism's killed hundreds of millions of people over the years around the world. Mike Rogers needs to do a couple things. First of all, he needs to focus on getting out the message he wants to get out and how he can help the people of Michigan. Let others attack El-Sayed for his craziness, but at the same time, Mike needs to point that out and talk about how it's not congruent with Michigan values. And while there are pockets that may, like El-Sayed, not have a problem with praising the Ayatollah or refusing to, celebrate his death because it would make a few voters mad. I still think a majority of Michiganders really do want America to flourish. They do not believe America is the cause of the world's problems and the root of all evil. So he needs to focus on what he's done, what he will do for the people, and at the same time, he needs to draw a stark contrast between himself and where his opponent is. And I think if he does that, the people of Michigan are going to rally behind him. You've even seen some prominent Democrats come out and endorse Mike Rogers already.
Now, Senator, I just want to bring in on that conversation. This is what President Trump had to say about El Sayed right after the win.
You're a person in Michigan that won the other night.
Abdul El Sayed.
He is a disaster for the country. Leaks okay, seen better, but I'll tell you what, guys like that get in, they'll destroy this country.
So, Senator, really two parts. Does the president have a point about what the future holds if guys like this are winning? On the other side, do younger voters care? Do they even know what socialism is?
Well, this has been decades in the making, where our educational system, starting with higher education, and now, as we saw from COVID, what's being taught in our schools, our primary and secondary schools, from the 1619 Project to Howard Zinn, History of America, who's a communist, but his book is the most taught history book in American public schools, and he's a communist, and he hates America. And you say, well, gee, how are there so many progressives out there? How are these young people thinking so differently in America? Because they've been educated by our system with our tax dollars to do this. And many of us have been screaming about this for years, but most Republicans have been asleep at the switch, not just at the federal level, but our local school districts and our states. They have allowed the left to take over our schools, and this is what we're paying the price right now for.
It's a great point. Senator Rick Santorum, Hogan Gidley, great to see you both. Thank you.
Thanks.